A handful of school closings and around 50 delays mean your morning commute might not quite be clear yet while crews finish their plowing this morning.
One of Wisconsin's school districts is redefining snow days, hoping computers will let them make up for lost time to Mother Nature this year.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 Now This Morning on this Wednesday, February 13th.
Exactly.
Yeah, a little bit easier for commuting, at least in my books. I didn't have to shovel out my car this morning.
Poor Danica.
That's true. That's
still
true.
traumatized from yesterday.
Roads are still snow covered and slippery. We did get some light, fluffy snow overnight. That snow didn't end till about 3 or 4 o'clock here in Madison. So if you shoveled yesterday evening, you're probably going to have to shovel again this morning. Here's a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. Best news, though, look at that hole in the clouds that's developing. Yes. We'll actually see a sunrise today, and exciting times. Today is the first day that the sun rises before 7 o'clock. In what feels like forever.
It's a small wins.
Yeah, it is. Baby steps. Here's a look at our Doppler track map this morning. The snow is coming to an end for southern Wisconsin. We're still dealing with blowing and drifting snow, though, especially in the open areas. That'll impact north-south roads the most. Temperatures are dropping this morning. We're in the teens to around 10 in our western viewing area. Wind chills are even colder, the single digits above and below 0. So here's a look at your temperatures today. We will climb back to highs in the mid-20s this afternoon. That strong west wind this morning will diminish later on this afternoon. But again, as you head out onto the roads this morning, keep in mind that they still have snow on them in many spots. So take it a little slow. There are some brake lights starting to show up on Stoughton Road as you approach the Beltline. Around the area, it looks like there is an incident on Highway 14 just south of the Beltline as well. And Highway 73 east of town is closed as well due to a disabled vehicle there. So still may not be an easy peasy commute, but should be a little better than yesterday.
Yeah, sounds like that situation over on Highway 14, a rollover crash. Somebody's injured, but it should be cleared out soon, so that's good news.
Fingers crossed.
All right, thanks, Hattie.
You're welcome.
First this half hour, the State Patrol has most major roads in our area still listed as slippery or snow covered this morning, so you're going to want to take it nice and slow on your way into work. Here in Madison, plow crews are expected to wrap up by the start of your commute. But with 1,700 miles to clear, it can take up to 16-hour work days to get Madison cleaned up, especially after a storm like we just saw this week.
Driving conditions are tough with it actively snowing like this. Even the work being done on those salt routes, even with those extra crews, is just going to be covered over again and again and again so long as it's snowing. So it's hard for us to keep up with all that.
Now, you might also see city crews preparing for future storms by removing those massive piles of snow we seem to see around every corner. Tractors will load up that snow into dump trucks, then take it to one of 2 sites in the city.
Even with those plows working so hard, the pavement is far from clear, and you will want to allow yourself some extra time to get wherever you need to go this morning. Between 3 p.m. Monday and 11 a.m. yesterday, the State Patrol says it helped 108 drivers, responded to 93 vehicle runoffs, went to 22 crashes where some sort of property was damaged, and saw 11 personal injury accidents across the state.
Many communities in our area are under a snow emergency still this morning, including us here in Madison. So for anyone parking outside, that means alternate side parking rules are in effect across the entire city until Thursday morning. A number of other cities in our area also under a snow emergency. You can see that list right there on your screen. You can find a full list online over on Channel3000.com. So you might find yourself thinking outside of the box when you're clearing all that snow and ice off your driveways and your sidewalks this morning.
A salt shortage across southern Wisconsin has people traveling quite the distance to get some traction. Josh Spreiter is live in Mount Horeb this morning with some hacks for us. Josh, putting you to work yet again.
Always.
Good morning. Yes, we're at Do It Best in Mount Horeb, part of Premier Co-op, helping them a little bit with their sidewalks this morning because they're having a hard time keeping up with all of the ice melt demand. You can see this pallet over here is empty this morning. Photojournalist Mark Schilling, my buddy old pal, had to pick up this bag the other night when they were actually limiting it for 1 bag per person because there just isn't enough to go around right now. Now, if you're without salt, people here have been telling their customers that there are some other hacks that you can think of, including find your softener salt, those smaller pellets that you can also use, and also the potash is something that you can do as well. WISC has been trying their best when it comes to finding ice melt and sand this week. They had to send a truck 2 hours north to get even a bit to help satisfy a few customers. This after emptying out 12 fresh pallets in just 24 hours over the weekend of both ice melt and softener salt. That's 50 bags per pallet. With less snowfall over the years, stores started cutting back because the demand decreased. That also had contractors cutting back what they pre-ordered before winter.
Being a lumberyard also, we have a lot of contractors that plow snow in the winter. So they're coming in and saying, can I get a pallet? Can I get a pallet? Because what they signed up for at the beginning of the year that I got them, they're out too. So everybody's just scrambling to try to find some.
WISC was able to stock up with plenty of snowblowers and shovels this week, so if you're still in need of those, like many of you probably are, you are still in luck. Managers here say that they've actually had people coming from all across southern Wisconsin, store hopping, going from place to place, town to town, trying to find anything they can get their hands on to melt that ice. WISC is working to try and bring some more of that ice melt in. They're expecting some sand here tomorrow. But in the meantime, if you are trying to get at that pesky ice and that snow, you can use that softener salt. Very easy. You can just use that right at your household, or also that potash works. As long as the temperatures stay mild enough, though, those are some other hacks for you. And of course, we'll have all of this up on channel3000.com. And we were kind of joking when we were talking with the manager ladies that this was the year to buy a snowblower. There's many years where it's like, let's just wait and see. Well, if you waited and seen, I'm sorry for you this year, because this has not been fun.
Yeah, Josh, while you got your hands on the stuff and you're working this morning, mind stopping by my place later?
Yeah, right.
If you're available.
We'll see about that. It might take a treat or two. We'll see.
Noted. All right, Josh Breiter, always working hard for us on the morning show. Thank you, Josh.
So speaking of salt, there is a really timely conversation happening later today about the salt crews are spreading on the roads and how it might affect the environment. That is, the Clean Lakes Alliance will be hosting a UW limnologist to talk about what that salt can do to the lakes, both here in Madison and across the country. People from the city's sewage district, as well as the water utility, will also be there. The city's tried to scale back its salt use over the years, but decided to salt all residential streets ahead of the most recent storm. That's something that they haven't done since the 70s. This discussion starts at 8 o'clock this morning over at the Edgewater Hotel. It costs $10 to get in. Now, scientists are also worried about how long our lakes are or are not staying frozen.
Yeah, they're hoping by making that data more visual, more people will see what's changing and why that matters. Our Christina Laurie has more on that online effort this morning. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, ladies. It's been an ongoing effort by researchers who say if the 80-degree temperature swing we experienced last month is any indication, our climate is changing. They've been looking into ice data for a while now, but are now reaching out to members of Reddit to help graph it, to visually show how ice has been disappearing on Lake Mendota. Now, these graphs show just how long Lake Mendota has been frozen every year and how it's decreased over time. According to the data, all 10 of the years Lake Mendota was frozen the longest happened before 1900, and the shortest year happened in 2002, when the lake froze for just 21 days. UW professors say that what makes this interesting is that people think about different ways of showing data. They also say the Lake Mendota ice data is actually some of the best to use because they've been keeping records on it for more than 100 years now, which is some of the most in the entire world.
Yeah, it's just so interesting. We've been talking about this issue now all winter long, it seems like, because we were kind of mentally preparing as we saw those temperatures creep up and then back down. It's a big deal.
And when we call it global warming, it's technically climate change because we saw those negative 40-degree temperatures.
All over the place, all over the place. Well, thank you, Christina. Super interesting.
6:08 your time now. So with a handful of closings and more than 50 school delays today, districts are trying to figure out how to make up for more missed class time. But a school north of Milwaukee has one solution: technology.
Yeah, that's right. Random Lake high schoolers had a snow day yesterday, but they still spent some time on their computers doing school work from home. That district is running the state's pilot program for digital snow days. Students spend a couple hours on classwork while they're home, and they don't have to make up school days at the end of the year. The Department of Public Instruction is still collecting data on this idea. New this morning, Darien Elementary School outside of Delavan has plans to reopen next year after a referendum failed last spring. You may remember the school board voted to close the doors of that school and lay off 39 teachers. The Janesville Gazette reports residents criticized the school board for that move, claiming they weren't transparent about the school's financial situation and that voters didn't know that it would actually close if the referendum failed. Next school year, 3rd and 4th graders will shift from Turtle Creek Elementary back to Darien, and kindergarten will move to Turtle Creek, which already has 1st and 2nd graders.
Here's some good news for your student school. It looks like graduation rates in Wisconsin are on the rise. The state's Department of Public Instruction saw the highest rates ever with the 2018 class at nearly 90%. There were some notable gap closures, too. The largest jump was for students learning English at more than 5 points. The rate gap also dropped for African-American students and Hispanic students by almost 4. All right, 6:10 your time now. Last year, more than 1,000 people in Madison did the unthinkable, and that is jumping into the freezing cold Lake Monona to raise more than $300,000 for the Special Olympics of Wisconsin. We're talking with that organization about the extremely cold fundraiser next.
Trust me, it is really, really cold.
She knows.
We have almost 60 school districts on delay this morning. I don't know about you, but I will trade slightly colder temperatures for an end to this snowstorm. Hattie's talking about the sun coming out, and it rises before 7 o'clock now, guys. Your first alert forecast is next on News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. A fresh coating of snow is an understatement, I think, for southern Wisconsin after the latest storm. We have 11 inches of new snow on the ground here at the station, and many spots similar numbers. Now, we're still adding up some of the snow totals as the snow has just really come to an end within the last couple of hours for some of us. over 13 inches in Portage. Partyville picking up over 10 inches, close to 10 in Mount Horeb. Officially at the airport by midnight, Madison had picked up almost 10, but again, it kept snowing after that. So as they update just after 6 this morning, we should be able to increase that number as well. But a lot of cleanup happening across southern Wisconsin today and the northern part of the state as well. Saw some readings north of Toma near Arcadia, where they had over 18 inches of snow with this last system. So a lot of snow, but a chance break from it today, a chance to clean up for the area. Here's a look at the radar map for southern Wisconsin. You can see that the organized snow really coming to an end. There still may be issues with blowing and drifting snow, especially in the open areas. Take a look at temperatures across the upper Midwest. We're below zero in International Falls and Bismarck this morning. Minneapolis and Des Moines are in the single digits, whereas we're still in the teens here across southern Wisconsin. Here are the 6 o'clock observations: 16 in the Dells, 14 in Janesville, 12 though in Mineral Point, and 15 here in Madison. We do have a west wind this morning. It's sustained around 10 to 15 miles an hour, but some gusts are higher. Still seeing those wind gusts in the 20-mile-an-hour range, closer to 30 miles an hour as you get towards the lakeshore. So that is generating a wind chill for us, and wind chills are in the single digits above and below zero. You'll want to bundle up as you head out the door this morning. Winds will stay fairly strong through the morning hours, but they will diminish later today. So good news, those winds lighten up and the drifting snow should come to an end. Future Track shows you that we'll see some sunshine as well. Not a bad day at all, with partly sunny skies this afternoon and high temperatures in the mid-20s. Now overnight tonight, clouds will roll back in, and we do have a chance for some very light precipitation tomorrow. It's mainly during the afternoon, and it may be in the form of a little bit of rain, changing over to a bit of snow. It'll come to an end pretty quickly, and amounts are expected to be less than an inch for southern Wisconsin. Here's a look at your extended forecast then. We have temperatures that will be a little colder for the upcoming weekend, but relatively quiet. Near 20 for a high on Friday and Saturday. Nighttime lows start out, though, or their daytime lows in the single digits, so be aware of that. It's going to be cold in the morning. There is a chance for some light snow coming then on Sunday. Let's get an update on your first alert traffic this morning with Josh Tim. What are you seeing, Josh?
Yeah, we're starting off watching that crash on Highway 14, closing all lanes in both directions at Burn Road. That means you will travel, if you travel between Oregon and Madison, you will want to take a different route for the time being. So far, no issues on the Beltline, though. Things are moving close to the posted speeds from end to end. Other roads here in Dane County still pretty slick. You will want to give yourself some extra time during the morning commute. No delays showing up downtown or on campus. Volume not an issue quite yet. And other routes heading into Madison may be slippery, but right now not dealing with any crashes or delays. With your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
All right, thank you so much, Josh. Thank you, Hattie. So it is an organization that helps thousands of athletes achieve their goals, and all they're asking us to do is jump into a freezing cold lake in the middle of February.
Yeah,
Easy.
no big deal. This weekend's Polar Plunge is the most important fundraiser for Special Olympics of Wisconsin, and here to talk more about it is Tommy Jamie with the organization and athlete Jake Casper. Good morning, you two.
Good morning.
Good morning. Jake, we wanted to start with you and ask you, what kind of competitions you've been in, what kind of sports you're participating in, and what it's been like being part of Special Olympics.
Well, the sports I do is bowling, basketball, track and field, golf.
What's your best one?
Golf.
Golf?
Golf, wow.
I bet you could teach me a few things.
Well, the reason why I chose said golf, because last year me and Bob Graytock took second place.
Oh, wow.
It's tied with another team.
Nice, nice. And what has it been like, why'd you get involved and why do you keep doing it?
So much fun.
Yeah?
And
I bet. Second place, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Tommy, I want to ask you a little bit about this Polar Plunge, because people get really excited about this. I know Danica does. She's gone several years.
It's so fun.
Yeah, and some teams dress up. What do you think, what is it about this event that resonates with folks so much?
I think that it's the community aspect. We try to kind of build it up as like a winter festival, and people really kind of like buy into that and take that really seriously. And it's really great for team building with your coworkers or your classmates. The costume part of it is a huge part of it. Getting the photo op is a great part of it. I mean, a lot of people just get some really amazing photos that they'll take with them for the rest of their lives, and then knowing that it, serves us a fantastic cause.
So I know Danica jumped last year. I wish we had video of it.
Oh, it exists somewhere. It exists somewhere.
find
But yeah, Jake, I want to know, what is your favorite part of the polar plunge? We're seeing some video right now. What's your favorite part?
Have seen a lot of people jumping in.
Yeah.
Jumping in. And you've jumped in a few times.
Yes.
Do you remember what that felt like? Can you explain to people just
It
how...
was cold.
I can imagine.
One word for that.
Yeah, it was cold.
But you warm up quickly, though, right?
Yeah,
after
in a
that,
hot
right?
tub.
Yep, there is the hot tub there, absolutely. And Jake, I do want to ask you too, you know, what do you want people to know about where the money goes? You know, what they're supporting out there.
Right.
What do you want people to
Supports
know?
us athletes to compete at state levels.
Yeah, cool.
Well, so,
And
oh, go ahead.
I was not done yet.
Oh,
You're done.
take the stage. You
State
got it.
levels, and it helps raise money to compete at USA Games and World Summer Games.
That is awesome.
And the World Summer Games this year is in Abu Dhabi in March.
Fancy schmancy. You
That's
hoping to get
exciting.
there for golf? We're
Did
gonna
not-
see.
Did not get selected.
That's
Oh,
all right.
dang it.
That's
Next
all
year.
right. This event is awesome. Tommy, you want to tell people about the details?
Yeah, so people can go to plungewi.org, and there's still time to register. Where you can register right up to the last minute. You can even register in person. It's at Olin Park, and it's going to start. The plunging will start at 11, but the opening ceremony will start at 10:45, and we're hoping that we're going to have a lot of people out there, even supporters if they're not taking the plunge themselves.
Such a fun event. I know our Danica Lewis is going to be there, so get out there and enjoy it.
Yeah, do it.
Thanks so much for coming on and talking with us about it.
Thanks for having us.
I forgot to add something.
What's that?
Go
Real
ahead.
fast.
It's all you.
I'm on the board of directors for Special Olympics Wisconsin. And as a board, we're looking for new ways to get people interested to be on the board of directors.
Great. Well, we'll make sure to post the website over on channel3000.com so people can check that out and get more information. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. Second place golf champion right there.
Thank you, gentlemen.
guys again.
All right, thanks, guys.
So a wildlife rescue team in Michigan is celebrating its latest rehabbed bald eagle who was stuck on Lake Michigan ice.
Crazy story there. And I think we're all taking a collective sigh of relief. With the News 3 Now weather team, Hattie's got a much calmer looking forecast when News 3 Now this morning returns.
And a good Wednesday morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. We have clearing skies across southern Wisconsin. Can see a few holes in the cloud cover behind me looking at the Capitol from the Edgewater Sky Cam. Our temperatures this morning are a little chilly, but the snow is coming to an end. A lot to clean up though, nearly a foot of snow in many locations. Temperatures are in the teens for most areas, but now dropping to 8 in Prairie du Chien and 9 in Platteville this morning. A little bit of a chilly start. When you factor in the wind, it feels like it's below 0 in our western viewing area. Wind chill is 3 here in Madison. So bundle the kids up, grab all the snow gear as you head to school today. Temperatures will climb to highs in the mid-20s. Should be a pretty nice time on the playground with all that fresh snow to play in. Have a wonderful day.
All right, Hattie, thank you so much. If you are feeling the love around Valentine's Day for our furry friends, there are a number of ways you can support animals in our area who need a forever home. Here are just some of the cuties up for adoption right now. Mound's Pet Food Warehouse is donating 10% of every dollar spent on pet food to the Dane County Humane Society. This month, the People for Pets program has been going on for more than 20 years now. Also, when you buy groceries at Metcalfe's this month, they're taking 5% off your receipt and matching that discount with a donation to the Humane Society.
Over in northwestern Michigan, a bald eagle found stuck on Lake Michigan is back home safe in the wild this morning. A rehab group called Wings of Wonder found the eagle stuck in Sutton's Bay at the beginning of the month. Now, because of the freezing temperatures, an 8-pound ball of ice had formed at the end of his tail, and he couldn't fly. Wow, gorgeous creature there. Hundreds of people packed around a local high school yesterday to watch him be released. Wow.
That is an incredible story.
What a story.
Yeah, there he goes.
That's terrifying. Good for him.
Flying off. Yay!
Go, buddy! The wingspan is just crazy on those birds. Okay, 6:27 your time now. We are just hearing into the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Highway 14 outside Fitchburg, back open after a rollover crash there. Any traffic backups there should be cleaned shortly. We're going to take another look at your First Alert traffic coming up in this next half hour.
And there could be a new hotel in the works for Badger fans who want to be within walking distance of the Kohl Center, like really a stone's throw away. The day's top stories are next, right here on News 3 Now this morning.
If you've been on the hunt for some ice melt this week, you are not alone. I'm Josh Barter, live with how businesses are reacting to this winter weather and some ways to help get your ice melted.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Cool indeed, Josh Brighter. Welcome back to the final half hour of News 3 Now this morning. It is Wednesday, February 13th, and 13th must not be so unlucky because, my goodness, we are getting a break from some of this wacky weather we've been experiencing.
Yeah, you know what is cool is the fact that we're going to see some sun today, and that sunrise about half an hour away, Hattie.
Yeah, you know what else is cool? It's cool outside right now. It is chilly out here with that fresh snow on the ground and the wind blowing. Wind chills are near zero this morning. We have 11 inches of snow on the ground here at the station. That's from our latest storm. Here's the view from Platteville, though. Encouraging pictures showing you the clouds clearing out of there. A nice sunrise underway. Again, sunrise officially before 7 o'clock for the first time. Weather Track is showing you that any snow is quickly clearing out of the area, although there will still be some issues with blowing and drifting snow, especially in the open spots across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures are still dropping down to 9 in Platteville this morning, 8 in Prairie du Chien, still 15 here in Madison. Over the next 12 hours, our temperatures will climb back into the mid-20s today, but more importantly, we have sunshine and lighter winds this afternoon. Now, a look at your first alert traffic maps. Here's what's happening in and around the area. We're seeing some brake lights on Highway 14 as you approach the Beltline. A little bit of a slowdown on the Beltline right around Verona Road as well as Stoughton Road. That accident that occurred earlier on Highway 14, though, has been cleared, so the road is open again in both directions there. Otherwise, looking like travel pretty good on the interstate. Just keep in mind that there will still be snow-covered and slippery roads across southern Wisconsin. And that's your first alert traffic.
That is a fantastic reminder this morning because there are definitely some slick spots that I encountered. I don't know about you, Hads.
Yeah, you got to take it slow today.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So all that snow on the ground might mean a headache for homeowners who have to clear off their sidewalks and their driveways.
But hardware stores are loving the weather and what it means for business. Josh Brighter is in Mount Horeb this morning, working hard. They are struggling to actually keep the shelves stocked right now. And Josh, again, has been put to work outside of that store this morning. Josh, what can you tell us? There he is, Josh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, hey, they should be paying us for this because look at how good we're doing. We're doing some work out here this morning. We're trying to have some fun while we're still being stressed with having to dig out of all of this snow. Here at Do It Best in Mount Horeb, part of Premier Co-op, they are having some of the best business they've seen in 7 years.
Last year I sold 2 snowblowers, and this year in the 20s. So that's how Wisconsin weather works. One year is one way, and the next year it's just amazing.
Many of us are sick of the continued snowfall. Many hardware stores are loving it. Get this, last year, Do It Best only sold 2 snowblowers the entire season. So far this year, that number is already well into the 20s, and the manager expects that number to keep climbing big time this week. While that business is great, it has been hard for most, if not all, stores to keep up with ice melt and sand. Do It Best had to send a truck 2 hours north to find some this week. With less snowfall over the years, stores started cutting back because the demand decreased. Stores don't like to purchase too much early in the season because if we don't get any snow, it can actually go bad and go to waste. Of course, that left many stores scrambling this week as people were trying to come in and get some. You can see over here the pallet is empty, and they've been actually limiting how much salt or the ice melt people can actually grab. If you are still in desperate need of digging out today and trying to get that ice to melt, there are some hacks for you also available. You can also use softener salt, and also potash works, we learned, as long as the temperatures stay mild enough. So as we continue to dig out and deal with all of the snow, ladies, at least there's some other options for you so you're not slipping and sliding on all that ice. But hey, I'm impressed with my work this morning. I tell you what, if we're out here for a little bit longer, we're going to have this whole area all done, and they're going to be mighty happy coming into work today.
Yeah, all you need to do, Josh, is get your CDL license and start doing the plowing work as well, and you're a one-man shop right there.
Why not?
There we go. I can imagine the live shots from there already. Mark in the passenger seat sounds good to me.
Oh, I'm not talking live shots. I'm talking backup career, man. You've got this.
Side job.
There we go.
Side hustle.
You never know.
All right, Josh Brighter reporting live from Mount Horeb this morning. Thanks, Josh.
6:35 your time now. So we have some news for Badger fans. A new hotel might be coming up right next to the Kohl Center. The proposal has it replacing part of the parking lot behind the Kohl Center along Regent and the East Campus Mall. That means people who stay there would have direct access to the Capital City Bike Trail. There's no word on when hockey and basketball fans would be able to lock down those rooms. The developer wants to build a 6-story building there with a lobby and a bar on the first couple of floors and 4 levels of hotel rooms above that. That would include about 175 rooms for guests and more than 200 parking spaces. The city's Urban Design Commission will start looking at the proposal at its meeting tonight. That group is also considering an addition to East High School that could make it safer for students and staff. The district wants to install a 6,000 square foot entrance to the Pergolders Fieldhouse. Not only would that add a security element to the school, it would also make it so people don't have to walk through the entire building to get to games and events.
We have an update to share on a story out of Janesville this morning where 5th graders will no longer be able to take band or orchestra classes. The school board voted last night to get rid of those elementary school programs and replace them with more general music courses. The district says music classes are valuable, but the current structure isn't the most efficient for staff there. But for those who remember getting to learn an instrument at such a young age, it's hard news to take. Derek Sherman was one of their students.
I think you lose that eagerness, that innocence when you're younger, and that ability to really care about what you're doing.
The band and orchestra programs that were offered in 5th grade will now be offered to students at a 6th grade level. 6:37 right now. President Trump is expected to sign a border security deal to avoid another government shutdown, but he says he's not pleased with what Congress came up with. We'll have more on that in the morning sprint.
And a high school wrestler will be getting back on the mat after taking the ref who suspended him for unsportsmanlike conduct to court. That story's next when News 3 Now this morning continues.
Welcome back. At the state capitol, lawmakers are clashing over a resolution to recognize Black History Month. Democrats voted against a GOP resolution on the assembly floor yesterday because Republicans refused to mention former NFL quarterback and Wisconsin native Colin Kaepernick in that resolution. Republicans agreed with including Mandela Barnes, who's the state's first Black lieutenant governor, and the late Vel Phillips, Wisconsin's first Black Secretary of State. However, they called Kaepernick too controversial after he started a movement to kneel during the national anthem. Representative David Crowley, who chairs the legislature's Black Caucus, told a reporter that Black people should be able to choose the leaders they want to honor, and said Kaepernick is, quote, making history.
So if you have a student athlete in the family, you may know the WIAA doesn't allow you to appeal a ref's call. Well, that's what happened to Waterford High School wrestler Hayden Halter. Earlier this month, the Racine County athlete was suspended for one match for arguing with an official and showboating after a win. That punishment for unsportsmanlike conduct would have made him miss a key match to make it to the state tournament. So his parents brought the call to court. The judge actually ruled in their favor, saying their son's actions didn't merit a suspension. The WIAA can appeal that decision, though the organization says it's weighing its options right now. This comes at a time when there's already a shortage of referees. Don't think this latest call is going to help that.
Probably not. All right, the wind is going to calm down significantly today, which is good news for all the kids who are having to walk back to the bus stop this morning. That snowdrift shouldn't be much of a problem on the roads either. We do have a few schools closed, though, because of the weather. Hattie will let us know when the next round of winter weather is coming after the break.
But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning.
Doesn't that look nice this morning? A little sliver of sun from the Platteville sky camera. It is the first time in a while that we are seeing that sunshine before 7 o'clock. Official sunrise happens 1 minute before that, 6:59. We will take that 1 minute during the show. It makes us feel not so much like vampires.
Exactly. Exactly. Hats, I'm looking forward to that sun peeking out all day. Right?
Yeah, that's reason to celebrate alone. The snow is coming to an end. We have a lot of cleanup, though, left across southern Wisconsin. Take a look at the current snow depth over the last week, adding a lot of snow to the northern half of the state, starting to catch up here in southern Wisconsin as well. We have about a foot of snow on the ground here in the Madison area. Most spots are looking at over 6 inches, closer to a foot here in southern Wisconsin. So some pretty impressive snow totals, and with yesterday's snow, we're actually above normal for the season. This pink line is our snow accumulation for the season, and you can see for the start of the season, we were well below where we should have been as far as snow was concerned. But with yesterday's about 10 inches of snow or a little bit more here in Madison, we're above normals. We'll see how we go through the rest of the season. We've picked up a little over 40 inches so far. Typical snow season would have about 50 inches here in Madison. Doppler track showing you that the snow is moving away from us. Things are quieting down across southern Wisconsin and the entire state for that part. Here's a look at southern Wisconsin more closely. While there may be issues with blowing and drifting snow, especially west of Madison, we're looking at improving conditions through the day. It is chilly outside this morning, though. 7 now in Prairie du Chien, 8 in Platteville. Madison is at 15 degrees. Mineral Point is at 12, so it's a chilly start to the day. Wind chills are even colder. Those wind chill numbers are in the single digits above and below zero as you get west of Dane County. Now, our winds are pretty strong from the west this morning, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles an hour, gusting higher even at times. So those wind speeds will start to diminish through the day. By lunchtime, still pretty breezy outside, but the wind speeds come down through the afternoon, which is good news. Wind chill won't be as much of a factor later on this afternoon. Here's your wind chill forecast. You'll have to bundle up this morning. It'll be close to zero, but those wind chills do increase into the teens to around 20 late in the day. Here's a look at your future track forecast. Some clouds in the area this morning, but they will be clearing out of the region as temperatures get back into the mid-20s this afternoon. No precipitation in our forecast for today, although tonight the clouds roll back in and there will be a chance for a little bit of light rain or snow developing in the afternoon. Here's noon tomorrow. A little bit of light rain, possibly changing over to some snow before coming to an end early Thursday night. Snow totals, though, will be very light, less than an inch. Here's a look at your extended forecast then. Temperatures climb to highs in the mid-30s tomorrow, so a chance for everything to melt finally. Some of that ice on the roads and sidewalks. Otherwise, if it doesn't melt tomorrow, we're back below freezing for highs through next week. Here's a look at your pet walk forecast. Oh, I love this Aoki. See you sitting on the vent.
Nice. I was
Smart
wondering.
Perfect. Smart dog.
Hang out there for the rest of the week.
That's where I would be if I had a choice.
You and me both. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
I just pictured Hattie setting up a sleeping bag over there.
I know, all that's missing is a blanket.
Exactly.
In the weather office.
Well, the morning sprint's coming up next right here on News 3 Now this morning. Stay with us. 6:52, time for the morning sprint. Daddy says we are finally getting a break from the snow as we expect the wind to die down as well. It's going to be a much calmer day out there.
And Josh Spreiter has an update on an ice melt shortage that might make it difficult to clear out your sidewalk and driveway today. But we start with a look at your morning commute. The snow has ended, but State Patrol still has most major roads in our area listed as slippery. Here in Madison, there are 1,700 miles to clear, which can take up to 16-hour work days for plow crews to get through. They're also working to clear out the massive snow piles that have added up, so they're ready for any future storms.
And I'm Josh Spreiter, live outside Do It Best in Mount Horeb, where they, along with other stores, contractors, and people, are scrambling to try and find some ice melt this week. While business is great when it comes to snowblowers and shovels, it's been hard for most, if not all, stores to keep up. Do It Best had to send a truck 2 hours north to find ice melt this week because we're told there is just none available in southern Wisconsin. With less snowfall over the years, stores started cutting back because the demand decreased. There are some alternatives to ice melt, though. While we wait, experts say you can use softener salt or potash to help you out, and at least some sand to give you some traction.
And definitely a chance to clean up today. Here's the look from our Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. A nice sunrise underway. You should see some sunshine today. Starting out a little cool this morning. Temperatures are in the teens, but we'll climb to highs in the mid-20s this afternoon. Winds will diminish later today as well.
Thank you, Hattie. Nearly 60 school districts are on delay this morning across southern Wisconsin. A handful have decided to close. A pilot program is being tested out right now in Random Lake, and it could help make up for some of those lost hours with virtual learning days. Students can do classwork from home and avoid tacking days onto the end of the year. The Department of Public Instruction is still collecting data on the idea before expanding it to other districts.
Researchers from the University of Wisconsin are getting international help tracking ice data from Lake Mendota. People from across the world took those numbers and created animated graphs to show just how long Lake Mendota has been frozen each year and how that time has decreased. It helped reveal some interesting trends. All 10 of the years Lake Mendota spent the most time frozen happened before the year 1900. And over the past 150 years, we've had 1 month less of ice out on the lakes. Researchers hope this data will help draw more attention to how our climate is changing.
Thank you, Christina. Darien Elementary School outside Delavan has plans to reopen next year after the school board voted to close its doors and lay off almost 40 teachers at the end of last school year. That decision came after a failed spring referendum. Next school year, 3rd and 4th graders will shift from Turtle Creek Elementary back to Darien, and kindergarten will move to Turtle Creek, which already has 1st and 2nd graders.
At the state capitol, the Senate's expected to take up a tax cut for middle-class families later today after the bill passed the full assembly yesterday. Governor Evers says he won't sign it, though, because the plan is funded through a one-time surplus. Democrats argued there should be a more sustainable source of funding to pay for the tax cut in future budgets. GOP leaders say they should use the surplus since it's already available.
So we're supplementing things and moving things around, taking from far less important areas.
That's President Trump trying to find other ways to fully fund his $5.7 million border wall. CBS News is reporting this morning he's likely to sign a bipartisan bill to avoid another government shutdown. That legislation only has $1.4 billion to fund a section of fencing along the border. Congress could hold its first vote on that deal later today.
The owners of Breeze Stevens in downtown Madison are finalizing plans to keep things under control during things like concerts and soccer games. There's a 10 p.m. curfew and a new sound system going in to help contain noise. And for fans trying to get there, there's the new parking garage opened this year on South Livingston, and shuttles will be running to and from home soccer games. In addition, at least 30 bike parking spots will be added this year.
All right, ladies, gentlemen, and Badgers, start your engines. Former Badger J.J. Watt will be the first NFL player to give the command for drivers to start their engines at the Daytona 500 this weekend. The Houston Texan is a 3-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He's also well known for his charity work, including efforts to raise $41 million for Hurricane Harvey relief. The Daytona 500 airs Sunday afternoon on Fox.
All right, almost 6:57 your time. Let's get one more check on traffic with Josh Tim. Hi, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. The westbound Beltline picking up as everyone heads out for the day. Some brake lights popping up now between Stoughton Road and West Broadway, but no delays showing up quite yet. Inbound John Nolan slowing down in the usual spots near Rimrock and Olin Avenue intersections heading into the downtown area. And other routes coming into Madison, maybe slippery, but as of right now, not dealing with any major crashes or delays. With your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh.
And we still have some clouds left here in Madison, but skies should be clearing out as we go through the morning hours today. Temperatures will climb from the teens this morning back into the mid-20s this afternoon with partly sunny skies. Clouds return to the area tonight. A little bit of mixed precipitation in the forecast during the afternoon and evening tomorrow. So keep that in mind if you have plans for Valentine's Day, otherwise cooler for the weekend.
Looking forward to that sun. Stay safe out on the roads there today, folks, and get outside and enjoy that sun. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.